Your Worship.
Okay, ladies and gentlemen, I want to call this meeting to order, 4 o'clock. Any disclosures of pecuniary interest? Any? Councilor Stedall?
Item 2D, please.
Okay, you've already done all the,
I'm working on it right now, sir.
okay, good. All right, okay, we're going to go into closed session, so I need to move in a second and move into closed session. Councilor McHugh moves, seconded by Councilor Reed. All in favor? Thank you. Go into closed session. Yeah, national anthem, thank you.
We begin this meeting by acknowledging that Quinte West is on Indigenous land that has been inhabited by Indigenous peoples from the beginning. We thank all the generations of people who have taken care of this land for thousands of years. Long before today, there have been Indigenous peoples who have been the stewards of this place. In particular, we acknowledge the traditional territories of the Anishinaabe, Huron-Wendat, Haudenosaunee, and the Mohawks of the Bay of Quinte First Nation. This territory is covered by numerous treaties. We recognize and deeply appreciate their historic connection to this place. We also recognize the contribution of the Métis, Inuit, and other Indigenous peoples have made, both in shaping and strengthening this community in particular, and our province and country as a whole. This acknowledgement serves as recognition of the contributions and historical significance of Indigenous peoples across Turtle Island and demonstrates our collective commitment to meet the promises and address the challenges of the Truth and Reconciliation Commission within our community.
Opening remarks from anybody? Councillor Reid, go ahead, please.
Thank you. I'd just like to inform all the public, and most of them probably do know, that congratulations to Colleen Vickers, Nick Ogden, and their team for winning a Provincial Top 100 Event Award for their Medieval Madness Festival. And they were given this award by the Festivals and Events Ontario. So,
Thank you.
marvelous event.
Councillor Stedall?
Thank you, Worship. Just congratulations to everyone come out. I'm sure Councillor Armstrong wants to talk about coldest night of the year, but he did an excellent job in fundraising, and there was lots of people there. And the last I saw, they've raised $41,772. However, their goal is $45,000, so they're still open to contributions if anybody's interested in giving.
He's taking
anything.
everything I got.
Well, he needs another 4,000, so. I also wanted to say congratulations to our Quinte West artist, Brianna Godden. She had her big art show opening on Saturday at the John Parrott Art Center. She had 200 people show up, and the event's running all through March 14th, so I encourage people to get out for that. This Friday night is the Business Women's Professional Association. We'll be celebrating International Women's Day with the Heart of the Community. That's Friday night at 6 o'clock at Occasions by the Bay, and tickets are still available. And then our own Quinte West Library is having the Women's Day event on the following Saturday, March 14th. And they will have 3 remarkable women sharing their personal journeys, and they are running from March 14th from 10 to 1. There's no cost, but you have to register online, and lunch will be provided.
Thank you. I'm just going this way and then I'll come back. Councillor Armstrong.
I just want to thank everybody for the donations to the coldest night of the year. We raised over $5,000. Also, what's coming up, it's on our minutes, is the Random Acts of Kindness in memory of Mark Fike. I can remember that when that took place. It was very sad, but something very good has evolved from that through his sister, I think, or mother, one or the other. But they put blue ribbons all over the area and wear blue to support nonviolence.
Yes, that was a very sad situation.
Very sad
Very sad situation.
Talking to his family on the phone when it happened, yeah.
Terrible. Councillor Quinte?
Yeah, I just wanted to say thanks to the management team here at the City of Quinte West. I've been dealing with a few inquiries over the past week or so, and they get back to me right away so I can get back to the citizens with the answers that they're looking for. Thanks.
Councillor O'Neill?
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. An update to someone that did the presentation on the high-speed rail last council. Belleville Council has voiced their opposal of it, and so has MP Cramp. And good news, February 24th, CFB Trenton announced plans for 350 new military housing units, which is excellent.
Yes, they announced it. Did they give you any timeline?
Well, it's a start.
I know what you're saying. It's a good announcement. I'd just like to see the shovels in the ground. That's all I'd like to see. But Councillor McHugh.
Thank you, Your Worship. I'd like to just congratulate Trenton Memorial Hospital, the heartbeat of Quinte West, on February the 25th. I had along with a bunch of others, Councillor Card was there, Councillor Armstrong, for the 75th anniversary. The hospital opened on February the 25th, 1951. I know that Councillor O'Neill, here's father, the Right Honourable Hugh O'Neill, was a great proponent for it. He spoke to it every time that he got up to the chance at Parliament in Ottawa, and I do remember it was one of his last speeches, and I did have the honor of spending time with him. Unfortunately, it was the day that he left us, but he was at a rally at the hospital at that time, but I was there. And I also bumped into a schoolmate, Sandy McDonald. His father, Dr. McDonald, performed the first surgery there 2 days later, I think on the 27th at Trenton Memorial Hospital. So it's a great institution again, and congratulations. And if you look in the picture, you'll see me in the back. Donkey got right up front with his green shirt on, but I had to tuck myself in the back somewhere. But there is a rather tall gentleman standing behind me, so you'll be able to pinpoint where I am. Thank you, Councillor Card.
You missed somebody.
Hey?
Guy in yellow.
Councillor Neal was there, the mayor was there as well.
And Fire Chief Will.
Yes, Chief John Wenham was there as well, keeping law and order for us, what he was there. Thank you, Your Honor. Your Honor, Your Worship. Yeah.
Do you have, Councillor Armstrong, do you have any more information on Dr. McDonald, or no?
He was the head of surgery, correct?
Yes.
A long time. I can remember playing hockey and hurt myself one night, and I put this splint together and came in to emerge, and he was there, and he was looking at that splint more than he was at my injury. But a great guy, great guy.
Yes. He was one of the first operating surgeons, and I think he operated before he was actually approved or something, but anyways.
Nothing's changed.
He turned out to be one of the greatest surgeons in our city, in our area, yes. He did both my knees, both of them, a long time ago. Well, I thank him and so on. So, coming this way, Councillor Card.
Thank you, Your Worship. I wanted to remind everyone about Family Fun Fest at the Battlewalk Community Center, March 9th, 10 a.m. to 3 p.m. Kinsmen have a pancake breakfast and magicians, puppeteers, and of course DJ Leo, crafts and face painting, and you can climb aboard a city snowplow or fire truck, which should be cool for the little ones. And yes, it was a great event of the 75th commemoration of the opening of the hospital. Good speech by Stacey Dobb, and the mayor spoke also. It was good to learn about some of the history and how it's still so relevant in our community. Backbone or heart of our community, as someone else put it.
Councillor Katsovas, anything? Councillor Boyce?
Thank you, Your Worship. On the weekend, I know Zach and Dave O'Neill and myself participated in a fundraising event at Belleville Pickleplex, and it was organized to raise money for the Trenton Memorial Hospital Foundation for equipment, much needed. And I was put on and basically by fundraising superstar, as we know, Lorraine O'Quinn, and I believe they raised over $50,000 for equipment on that one day, 8 hours of pickleball, and I think we ended up raising over $50,000. So it's amazing what we can do when we all get together.
I don't disagree with you, and isn't Lorraine O'Quinn a Newfie, or am I,
She is. She's a
Hey?
proud Newfoundlander.
pardon?
Yes, she certainly
Yeah,
is. Eh?
and
She knows
I
how
guess-
to raise money, I'll tell
I
you.
guess we should say we're proud
Yeah,
of somebody who lives here from the Rock,
yeah,
right? Yeah. Thank
absolutely.
you. Counselor Roseblade, did you have something to add, or?
Nothing tonight, thank you.
Okay, everybody. Counselor Armstrong?
Just a correction on the Family Fun Fest, it's March 15th.
Okay. March 15th, okay, thank you. Anything else? Okay, well, thank you very much.
Director Angelo.
Your Worship, you just wanted me to
Angelo,
remind
okay.
you about, you wanted to say a couple words about the passing of Bill Vandervoort. And I know Councillor Sharp wanted to mention that as well, and unfortunately, she's unable to attend tonight.
Yes, Bill Vandervoort passed away, ladies and gentlemen, and Bill was a great server of many of our committees, a very, what you'd say, a dedicated individual. If he said he'd be there, he was there, and he was always well prepared. So I thank him for his service, and may he rest in peace. He certainly will be missed, and I'm sure it's hard for his family, so thank you. Anyone else? Councilor O'Neill.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. That reminds me, who recently passed away is Dennis Smith, a longtime firefighter. He was very active in the community, in sports, everything else, and a great proponent for our whole city.
Thank you, thank you. Anybody else that I've missed or anything? No? Okay, all right, well, thank you very much. Okay, any disclosures again of pecuniary interest? Councilor Stedall is already acknowledged, that's fine, thank you. Unless you want to mention,
No, and I, sorry, Your Worship. And I mentioned the one for in camera as well.
okay, thank you. Okay, I need approval of the agenda. Mover and a seconder. Councilor Quinte moves, seconded by, need a seconder. Councilor Roseblade, all in favor? Carried, thank you. All right, minutes of the regular council meeting held on February 18th be approved, and further, the minutes of the closed session council meeting held on February the 4th be approved. Mover, Councilor McHugh moves, Councilor Reed second. Any comments or questions? All in favor? Carried. Thank you very much. All right. Anyone here for public input? Come on up, please, Louise. Or not Louise. Yeah, right.
Lisa.
Right. Kuipers, Lisa.
Thank you.
Sorry about that.
That's all right. Through you, Your Worship, Mayor Harrison. Good afternoon, Mayor and members of council. My name is Lisa Kuipers-Schroeder, Executive Director of the Downtown Trenton Business Improvement Area. Thank you for this opportunity to speak today. After reviewing today's agenda, I noted the staff report regarding permit parking in the downtown. In the report, Kerry West, Supervisor of Bylaw Enforcement, presents two options for council's consideration. On behalf of both the Downtown Trenton DBIA and the Quinte West Chamber of Commerce, we respectfully request that council direct staff to prepare a report outlining the implementation of a parking permit process in the downtown area. At present, free parking in high-traffic city-owned lots with no reserved spaces, time limitations, or permit structure has created challenges for both downtown businesses and the public. Without a system in place to manage long-term parking, many spaces intended for customers and visitors are being occupied for extended periods of time, which limits accessibility and impacts the ability for business to serve their patrons. A parking permit process would help establish a balanced approach to parking management by supporting employees who require long-term parking while helping ensure that convenient spaces remain available for customers and visitors to the downtown core. Downtown parking is an important component of maintaining a vibrant and accessible business district, and we believe that reviewing options for the permit-based system would be a positive step towards improving the current situation. Thank you for your time and consideration.
Thank you very much. Okay, anyone else for public input? Anyone else? Okay, we'll keep going then. Okay, committee reports, resolution. I need a move and a seconder for the first resolution. Councilor McHugh moves, seconded by, need a second, Councilor Elliott. Staff report by Josh, Director of Corporate Service regarding election sign bylaw be received and that the draft election sign bylaw attached as Appendix A be approved and that the election sign bylaw be placed on the March 4th regular council meeting agenda for adoption and that staff be directed to amend the fees and charges bylaw to include a $250 election sign permit fee. Okay. Any comments or questions? Comments or questions? Councilor Stedall.
Thank you, Worship. I asked for this to be deferred because I had a number of different questions on the original, on the report. And I will not be supporting the portion of it that talks about the $250 election sign permit fee. I believe that that is an inhibitor to people that were trying to get out to, to run for council. And I think, I understand, and it's an excellent redraft of an old bylaw, so I have no issues with that. It needed to be updated. The other one was prior to some changes in legislation. But I will not be supporting the $250 election sign fee for candidates. The other item that I had an issue with is the $5,000 fine. I find that that's a little bit harsh. I know we may have some bad characters out there, and I know the bylaw will have to deal with that. But it just seems the $5,000 seems a little bit high. I would recommend that that be closer to at least half or $2,000.
Anyone else? Councilor McHugh?
I personally have no problem with the $250 fee. If it's going to create extra work, and especially if the signs are going to get out earlier, which is part of the proposal as well, and there are infractions, bylaw is going to be out, it's going to cost the city money. I'm not so sure that signs are the actual way to go. I'll be honest with you, my last election, the last 3 weeks, I knocked on doors and handed out brochures. And a lot of people said to me, I think we're going to vote for you. The only person that came and knocked on our door, they've seen signs everywhere, but the brochures what worked, and the personal touch, and I'm sure Councilor Card can attest to that as well. You knock on doors, you don't get elected by the signs you have, so there's an option. If they don't want to pay a $250 fee, they technically don't have to have any signs out, I guess. But I don't foresee a problem. I think I don't see where there would be anybody who couldn't afford the $250 plus $100 to sign up. I don't think $350 is outrageous for running. No.
Councilor Roseblade, go ahead.
Thank you. I'd actually like some clarification. Is this just for election signs, or is it for any portable signs that people put out? So are we going to ask our home and leisure show to pay the $250 fee? I know the fishing derby, I don't know if it's going, but anyway, any other event that's in town and we put their signs put out, are they responsible for this permit as well? Because I think it, as Councillor Stedall said, it is an inhibitor. It is an inhibitor for someone who's going to run for council. If there's somebody who wants to run, they pay the $100 to run. And if they don't want to put out signs, that's their option. But if they want to put out signs, they're responsible to pay for their own signs. They're expensive. The $250, I think, is just another inhibitor. We're trying to get people to run for council. And this is just something that's going to stop people from putting money out of their own pocket, as we all do and have done to run. So I don't support it either, but if staff could clarify, will the home show or other events that put out signs have to pay this $250 fee as well?
Yeah, through your worship to Councillor Roseblade, this is exclusively for election signs, so would not apply to the home show signs or anything like that.
Okay.
Okay,
hear that?
thank you for that. Thank you for that clarification. Yes, I did hear that. So that's good news. I'm glad that that is good news, that it's not, but I still don't support it for the election. I'd like to see younger people come out and run, and adding another $250 fee on top of the $100 fee, so you're up to $350 just to put your name in. I think that is definitely an inhibitor for people to come forward.
Thank you. Councilor Boyce?
Thank you, Your Worship. And just clarification, I know Councillor McHugh had mentioned that the bylaw states that the we would be allowed to put signs out earlier, but I think that the draft bylaw that we would be approving still states that it's at the end of the nomination, so it would be around August 27th, correct?
Yes, through you to Councillor Boyce, that's correct. Yeah,
Yeah.
it's still the day, I believe it's nomination day or the day after nomination day that the bylaw states, which would be the same as the previous election. I did reference in my staff report about a court case that came out as a result of a by-election where a judge made a ruling that suggested that municipalities should be allowing signs earlier than that, but didn't go as far as to prescribe a date that municipalities should be allowing election signs.
Yeah, and I know that ruling, and I know that unlike the Township of Russell, the judge noted that they don't have strong provisions placed on limitations, whereas Quinte West has strong provisions. So, I mean, it's not very similar. So for the $250, would that be for a dedicated, would that money go for a dedicated additional staff member, or is it just to offset the cost? Because I have the same concerns as I know Councillor Stedall, Councillor Roseblade, et cetera, about the $250. Would you be hiring an additional staff member strictly for enforcement?
Through you to Councillor Boyce, no, we wouldn't be hiring an additional staff person. It would just go to offset the cost of enforcement.
Yeah, so I won't support the $250.
So, Mr. Clerk, just explain your position with respect to the signs. And, okay, so I put up election signs, I put them up wherever I want to. Go ahead, tell me what you're going to do.
I will defer questions of enforcement to Director Jardine.
Okay, okay, all right.
Through your worship, if we get reported signs that are placed not in accordance with the bylaw, we would remove the signs. Where there's a situation where a candidate is repeatedly putting signs in the wrong place, we would certainly contact them and let them know what they're doing wrong, and hopefully they would address the situation. But we have removed signs in the past. And I would say in terms of going back to the question around workload, etc. While as Mr. McChesney said, no expectation of additional staffing. However, during the sign period of elections, the enforcement of election signs does become a significant work item for existing staff.
Okay, thank you. Councillor Roseblade?
Thank you. I just have one more question and clarification. As Councillor Boyce said, the $250 you said is to help with enforcement. So if staff could please clarify for me, are we paying overtime to the bylaw enforcement officers during election time, or are they just busier during election time? We're getting this extra money, but are we having to pay them to work weekends and evenings? So why do we need this extra money if we are or aren't? I just wonder if you could clarify that.
I don't, who can answer that one? Director Jardine? Can you answer?
Through your worship, no, it's not specifically to cover overtime. It would go towards general cost of running the department. But I don't think we've been in situations where we've run overtime, or we have. Sorry, I'm being corrected from the audience by our supervisor of bylaw enforcement. So there have been some situations, I think, where we've obviously entailed some overtime. So it would definitely go to help address that.
Okay, so basically it's just extra revenue. The way it's worded in the report is to offset costs, but we're not offsetting costs because they're already working. Am I correct in saying that?
Go ahead.
Thank you, Your Worship. I think that there's a lot to like in the report. I think it does a good job of balancing some of the concerns, traffic safety and community aesthetics, along with having as much speech and democracy as we can. I find myself agreeing with the comments that although the $250 is a small amount of money, I think when added to the candidate fees, yes, perhaps it doesn't make a marginal person in the community not run, but I feel like it may be counterproductive when we are trying to find candidates in the community, more people to participate in the democracy, that it might be the wrong direction to go in terms of erecting barriers, cost barriers, even if they are very small ones and may not have an effect. We're not sure, but so I would agree with that. I like a lot of things in here. I think that the purpose of the bylaw for having a permit, actually what I would like to see is a no-fee permit, because I think that having staff speak to candidates about the requirements and fulfilling their responsibility within the signed bylaw and getting the process of getting the permit, I think is very valuable and extremely valuable to candidates. And I think that in terms of talking about getting candidates to comply with it, I think there's nothing more valuable than that, having that conversation when they apply and get the permit, having staff walk them through. So I do like that, just maybe without the fee. Also, the candidate info sessions, I don't know if they're planned for August or September, but I think that that's another great opportunity to inform and will raise the chances of people complying. I would also agree that the 5,000, that does seem a little bit excessive. To Director Jardine, if you can speak to this, or perhaps Josh, is the intent with the maximum, and I'm hoping it's a bit lower than 5,000, but would the intention be to give warnings and then a graduated step-up process? So maybe there's 2 warnings for candidate, or do you have an internal framework that you have, the third offense is this much, and then it builds up to the maximum, or is there a rubric for that yet, or a thought process?
Yeah, I can attempt to tackle that question. Thank you through Councillor Card. Yeah, in terms of enforcement, sorry, you're gonna have to let me collect my thoughts here for a second. I'll ask Director Jardine to step in for a second. Sorry.
Your Worship, so I think the intent of the fine, I think the first point to make is I think the background work that was done in this report found that a fine structure was quite common within municipalities. I think the fine structure that other municipalities implement is implemented almost immediately in many cases. It's a much smaller amount, but if there's a contravention, there's an immediate fine. And I think the understanding here is we did not want to do that, but essentially place something in place that was a deterrent, because we do. I mean, I think part of the struggle here, I'll be quite honest in having this conversation, is very, very sensitive situation for staff. When you have prospective members of council running for council who are effectively running the organisation, and staff are put in a position of enforcing. That puts staff, particularly frontline staff, in a very, very difficult situation. And we have had very difficult situations with prospective members of council in past elections. And so I think part of the understanding of the fine structure, and the conversation can obviously happen on what that would look like from a dollar sum, but it's a deterrent. It's an understanding that the rules are there to be followed. The rules, just like all of the rules, are set by council for the municipality, for everybody in the municipality, including members of council, and the hope that that would help that recognition piece. But definitely, that fine structure would not be applied immediately. It would only be in egregious situations where repeatedly somebody was flouting the requirements of the bylaw.
Councillor Elliott.
Yes, just to add to Councillor Roseblade's comments, and maybe Director Jardine may want to comment on it. We do have a separate bylaw for portable signs and other signages, and I know certain times they come to planning advisory for a sign permit and what have you. So we do have that there. I don't know what the fees are for that right at the moment off the top of my head, but we do have 2 separate signs. Yeah, I know a number of years ago we went through this. We had, I guess, Sign Wars that was trying to see who could outsign the other one with portable signs or whatever, and they were blocking intersection sight lines and whatever. So there is 2 separate things. The other thing I like about this is just not for the municipal election. This bylaw, from what I read, covers provincial and federal campaigns too, which I think is good, because there's been reports in the past who could outsign the next person, and you get sign pollution and whatever. And I know the last time when we ran, we were given certain areas that we should put them or we shouldn't put them. And I know it's still in here with this, but I think that must be stipulated too. I'm kind of torn between the $250 implementation or not, but I can see the one side of it or the other, but I agree with the bylaw mostly in its intent, the way it's presented here as of now. But maybe you want to, for Councillor Roseblade's concern, how you differentiate, and we do have a signed bylaw that people have to apply for to do advertising.
Councillor McHugh.
Thank you, Worship. Yeah, with regards to, and I did state that I was in favor of the $250. Now we're talking about $5,000 infraction fees on top. What if we, as a deterrent or as an incentive, we charge them $250, and if they have no faults during the election, they get their $250 back, just like the $100 they get back when they sign up to run. Worst case scenario, if they are at fault, $250 is going to go towards paying bylaw or somebody to help rectify the situation at the time. So they would be getting the money back in the end, providing they follow the rules.
Councillor Armstrong?
The $5,000 fine, I think, shouldn't even be discussed, because I put up a sign in an area, and then somebody comes in, and they're supposed to be 100 meters apart, is that correct, in municipal property?
On roadways, yes.
Yes, so somebody comes along and puts 5 in a row, and I'm going to get fined because I didn't do it, somebody just moved my signs. And so the bylaw's out there chasing all this, plus there's going to be measuring, correct?
No, so through you to Councillor Armstrong, no, the $5,000 fine is for egregious circumstances, so staff have the tools to deal with it. But in circumstances, regular circumstances where someone just has a sign in the wrong place, the goal is education. We'll pull it. We don't find other municipalities have a fine structure where it's 100.
My point is that I'm following the rules, and then somebody else is breaking them on my behalf.
Yes,
Or,
and we've heard instances where that does happen too, and to Councillor McHugh's point, that's probably why we wouldn't implement or are not recommending a deposit system. Aside from the fact that it's difficult to administer, there are instances where people move each other's signs, so if that were the case and you didn't get your deposit back, that wouldn't be right. So.
Are there any municipalities that conduct elections without signs? Just curious.
No, through you to Councillor Armstrong. I don't.
Mayor Harrison says there is.
Yes.
Yeah. Are there?
There are municipalities that don't allow signs.
Yeah, I mean, to not allow signs would open the municipality up to a charter challenge.
Anyway. There's different ways of advertising. You get on the radio, you get on, put a sign in every OPP car, every fire truck, all things that are legal. Yeah. Councillor Kazovas.
Thank you. Whether council decides to drop the 5,000, I think it has to be some kind of fee that's going to scare the candidate into complying. As Councillor Armstrong mentioned, and myself included, I always followed the rules with the signs. I read the sign bylaw. This is what we're allowed to do. So if it's a nominal fee and it's so low, the repeat offenders are going to continuously put the sign where it's not, because they're going to pay the minimal fine just so they get exposure and hopefully get elected. I think the interpretation is it's just a deterrent, as we mentioned. Bylaw have the ability at their discretion to charge repeat offenders up to 5,000, so they could maybe just bill them 2,000. Anyway, if the council wants to switch the amount, I'm fine with that, but it has to be high enough again to scare people away. And as for the 250, I'm not sure what the bare minimum is to cover staff's overtime costs. Whether it's just a straight fee of $150 for your council fee and signs, like just a minor $50 or something to that effect, I would have to defer to staff if they need any kind of amount whatsoever.
Anyone else?
Mr. Mayor.
Councillor Quinte.
Yeah, I'm not going to support the $250 fee. We're here in Canada. We do elections all the time, and a municipal candidate has no way to write off any of their expenses, be it they purchase a sign or purchase a flyer or hire people to help them deliver or hire Canada Post to deliver on their behalf. Revenue Canada doesn't recognize any of those expenses for any kind of deduction whatsoever. So I just feel like the city needs candidates to run for council, so why are they reaching out to, in a sense, a fee or a collection of some sort to run, just so they can put out election signs? And I don't have any problem with how the current bylaw reads about where to place the signs. And also, I don't agree with the $5,000 penalty. I think it should be substantially less. And I don't know what is an egregious situation. So how do you judge that when there's 40 candidates and one of them is doing something crazy and the other 39 aren't, or the other 39 are doing something crazy and one isn't? So I don't know what that means, so I'm not going to support the bylaw as it is. Thanks.
Councillor Stedall, coming this way.
Yeah, just a couple other things. So the Councillor Quinte is correct, is that you can't, it's not tax deductible, any of the election expenses. And the expenses have been getting higher with the cost of signs, or even social media posts cost money, or any other type of advertising in order for people to understand, especially, new candidates. I mean, how they get their name out there is difficult. But I'm not sure if the public is aware, but there's also a cap as to how much that we can spend and the candidates, either whether you're a ward councillor or the mayor's position, there's a maximum. This $250 would go towards that. And I'm not sure if we had a $5,000 amount, if somebody got a fine, if that would go towards considered their campaign expenses as well and push them up over the top. I don't know if that is whether the...
Councillor Stedall, no, a fine would not count towards your election expenses.
Okay, so just the 250 though is, again, it's an inhibitor of people that don't have money, and it does count towards the election expenses. So that's why I won't be supporting it. If we are going to look for, I would recommend that we at least do maybe $2,500, half of the amount. I agree with Councillor Kotsovas, there needs to be an amount that's a deterrent, because signs can get to be pretty ugly out there, but I would suggest that $2,500 would be a more reasonable number at this time.
Okay. City Clerk, have we ever had any council member or anybody running for council expend more than their allotment, more than they were allowed?
Through to the mayor, no, I hope not, because the the compliance audit committee could remove you from office if you were to overspend on your campaign limits. But generally, councilors do not come even close to their expense limits.
And we have to file a financial statement.
That is
with
correct.
Everything that we've collected and everything that we spent, so you have all that information.
I do, yes, it's publicly available on our website as well.
Okay, thank you. Okay, who else coming this way? Anyone else? Okay, Councillor McHugh.
Yeah, I just need a little clarification here, because the recommendation is for the fee change regarding the $250. So if we're taking the $250 out, are we also going to be addressing lowering or talking about the $5,000 fine at the same time? Do we need two motions or one motion to cover both? It's just
Yeah, we can have one
those seem to
cover.
be the two topics right now.
Okay, well, give me a motion. Somebody, give me a motion.
Mr. Mayor, I'll speak to it. I was one of the ones that supported it as presented, but if you want to, I would make an amendment that we, I guess, adopt a guideline, I guess is what, 2,000 or 2,500, I never heard exactly what number it would be, but before it's brought back the next time, with that modification made, plus also whether we want the $250 included or excluded, and it sounds like mostly excluded, so. And I'd be prepared to make that amendment if the mover agrees.
I'll second that motion.
Okay, so you're down to what figure then? Give me the figures again.
$2,500 only.
500? 500 fine?
2,500.
2,500.
2,500 fine.
2,500 fine?
And zero permit.
And zero permit fee.
Zero permit fee. That's what we're putting on the table now,
Yeah.
Yep.
okay? That's what's on the table.
And just for clarification, and no signs go up until nomination day, the third Friday in August. Is that correct?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I just wanted to be sure that we weren't.
Yes. Okay, Everybody's good, you know, everybody, all in favor of what the motion is that's on the table? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Carried. Motion carried. Thank you. Okay. Oh, no? No. Okay, the next is financial services resolution that staff report by Matt Hodge, Manager of Finance, Deputy Treasurer, regarding public sector salary disclosure be received. And let staff report Manager of Finance, Deputy Treasurer regarding council remuneration. Okay, need a move in a second.
I'll move it.
Receive, Councilor Quinte move, Councilor Armstrong second. Any questions, any comments, anybody? Councilor Quinte?
My only comment is that on my remuneration, there's some funds from Quinte Conservation, which I donate back to Quinte Conservation.
We don't ask for donations, but we'll take them. If you want to donate to my campaign, that's fine. Councilor Stidle.
So there are two separate resolutions that you've just read, right? So the first one that we're talking about, the one on the table right now, is the public sector salary disclosure. And then
Yes.
the second resolution after that will be a second resolution about council remuneration, is that correct? So two, okay, just want to make sure.
Yeah, I
On the
guess
right
so,
one.
yeah, we do them two separate, okay. All right, all in favor of the first one? Carried, thank you. Okay, the second one, mover and a seconder, Councilor McHugh and Councilor Armstrong, mover and a seconder. Any questions on the second one? Questions, comments? All in
Leslie has
favor?
questions.
Oh, Councilor Roseblade, sorry. Comment? No?
No comment, I'm just
Okay,
putting
all
my
in
hand up
favor?
to pass the motion.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Carried. Okay. All right, so now I'm at
Item C.
C, which is the, again, Matt Hodge, Deputy Treasurer regarding 25th, fourth quarter capital project update we received. Need a move in a second for receiving. Councilor Quinte received, second by
Councilor Roseblade.
Councilor Roseblade. Thank you. Any questions or comments?
Yes, Mr. Mayor, I have a
Councilor
question.
Quinte.
So my question to staff is an accounting question having to do with the marina breakwall. The marina breakwall was passed at a $7 million budget, but and the intention was that we were going to borrow the money to pay for the marina breakwall. It ended up being $5,657,251, which creates a variance of $1,342,000 and or $1,342,749, and I want to know what is staff doing with the variance amount. We didn't have to borrow that amount, and it still shows on this report. So how are we dealing with that?
Director?
Yeah, through your worship, on many of the debt projects, we either only take on the debt as the project happens, or we take on the debt after the project has happened. So in this case, we simply would only fund the project to what it costs at the 5.9, and there will be a subsequent report coming to council with our approved debentures or what council approved for debt, and whether we should take those debentures on or not. This one will be on that report as to whether we need to take on that debt for this project and the total amount.
So from an just from an accounting point of view, so what happens with the variance amount? Like how do we make that go away then? Because I don't want to see that this money gets borrowed and used for something else, that's all. We didn't have to borrow it and it's not set aside for something else. So from an accounting process, how do we get rid of it?
Through your worship, it doesn't need to you don't need to get rid of anything. We've only spent 5.9, that's all we have to fund.
Yeah, we didn't borrow it.
Yep.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. Through you to the Director of Engineering. I noticed the 2025 asphalt resurfacing was budgeted for 5.8, and it came in at significantly under budget. Is there a reason?
Through you, your worship, to Councillor O'Neill. So in recent years, and we've seen a downturn in the economy, so we've had extremely favorable conditions with respect to the contractors. There's two parts of that. The main cost in asphalt is the crude cost of oil, and that has dropped in the last few years. In addition, contractors are pretty hungry these days, so we're getting very favorable pricing.
That's great, thank you.
Let's do some more
Well,
roads.
then tell me, why did the price of gas go up? That's supposed to go up again tomorrow. Anyway, I'm not arguing with you. I'm glad you're telling us that it's going down. I love that. Who's coming this way next? Councillor Stedall.
Just if we could get just clarification for the public when they're reading the main report. So the parks is only 7% completed, and just what exactly are the major projects that are not getting done there? And the other one is corporate facilities is only at 44%. It's just the numbers are large. Just wondering what those specific projects are that are not done yet. Page 46 shows percent complete.
Through your worship to Councillor Stedall. So with respect to the Baina Centennial Park trail, that's a $3.5 million project that's slated for construction this year. So the consulting costs have been realized and some of the studies, but not the actual capital cost. That would be a big swing in that number.
And the other one was the facilities. It's about at 50%.
Director Grimmin would have the.
Thank you. I think the major one contributing to that is the 149 North Murray, the item that had been earmarked for construction for that project that we have not moved forward on.
Thank you.
You want to explain any more what project it is and why we're doing it, or no? Everybody's got all that? You're good? Okay. All right. Thank you. That's fine. Don't belabor it. Okay. All right. All in favor? Thank you. Carried. The next one is item D, which is the staff report, Matt Hodge again. Finance regarding the fourth quarter city operating update be received. And maybe I did that, did I? No. Hey?
Nope, that's it.
Pardon?
This is it.
You did capital first, Your Worship.
I made the motion.
Okay, moved by Councillor McHugh. I need a seconder. Councillor Boyce. Any comments or questions? All in favor? Thank you. Okay, it's a good thing you got a haircut, Matt. There's a lot of things on your agenda today. Anyways, thank you very much. Water and wastewater operating update be received. Councillor Reed moved, seconded by Councillor Roseblade. Thank you very much. I knew you wanted to do that. Any questions or comments? All in favor? Carried, thank you. Next one is resolution, Melanie Macer, Manager Purchasing, regarding the fourth quarter purchasing status and non-standard purchasing updates be received. Moving to seconder, Councillor McHugh moves, seconded by Councillor Allier. Comments or questions? All in favor? Carried, thank you. Okay. Planning and Development, this was staff report, Brian Jardine, Director of Planning and Development Services regarding housing, community improvement plan, be received. So I need to move in a second for Councillor McHugh, Councillor Armstrong. I'm sorry, Councillor Quinte and Councillor Armstrong. One's a little bit younger than the other, I'm sorry. Sorry about that confusion. Any questions? All in favor? Carried, thank you. Oh, we're doing well. The next one is Kerry West, Supervisor of Law Enforcement, regarding permit parking fee be received, and the council direct staff to continue the practice of free parking in all city-owned lots with no reserved spaces, time limitations, or permits provided. Or, I need a mover and a second. Which one do you want to move? Which one do you want to second? That's my question. Councillor O'Neill, you got a comment?
I'd like to move, as the DBA director suggested, that a report be prepared for council outlining the implementation of parking permit process.
Yeah, I'll second that.
Councillor Reed seconds. Thank you. Comments or questions, anyone?
Yeah.
Comments or Councillor Quinte?
Did staff not do a report about parking and parking fees a couple of years ago?
Yes, they
And
did.
we needed to do an investment of, I don't even remember, it
Yes,
was
they
not
did.
$50.
They did all that. They did an analysis for us as well.
Right. And so are we just asking staff to bring that report back to us and refresh our memories on what the cost was to set up a parking permit fee, or is Ms. Kuiper's thinking
Well, I
of
think we
something
have
else
the, I
completely
think we have the
different?
option of leaving it as it is, yes, as what we already agreed to. But Councillor Stedall? Okay. No? Okay, Councillor Card.
Thank you, your worship. So just based on the direction, I agree with everything that Lisa Kuiper-Schroeder mentioned in her public input. I believe the choice for council is, yes, to leave it the status quo or to ask for a report related to the permits. I do support asking for a report. Spoke with Suzanne at the chamber a lot about this as well. I think one of the key points, and I'll ask Director Jardine to comment on this, I think that the permits themselves within the current framework won't itself solve the issue, in the sense that if we offer free permits for lots that are low traffic that we want the cars to go to, say the far west end of the chamber lot, the folks that are getting to the farmer's market lot in the early morning, whether they be employees or whatever, they really have no incentive to get a free permit and go far away if they can stay at the first parking spot in the morning at the farmer's market and stay there all day with no consequences. I don't think anyone will take up the permit process. I think that the permits have to be coupled with the 3 or 4 hour ban, whatever option staff bring forward, because then after folks that show up early in the morning and tend to stay all day, once they get a couple of warnings and then a couple of fines, then the free permit to go to the chamber parking lot will be much more attractive. But just to have the permit, I don't think anyone will utilize it because there isn't a reason for them to. They can stay for free all day in the closer lot, which is the underlying problem. So I would just ask that we do pass this. I support it, that we include and ask for staff to weigh the 3 or 4 hour, and maybe Director Jardine wants to comment on that.
Go ahead, Director.
Through you, Mr. Mayor, to council, yeah, in bringing back a report, while the title kind of lends to the permitting process, Councillor Card's right that there's a combination of moving pieces here, permits, time restrictions, and potentially fees as well. That's the other part that will be explored, because normally permits come with a fee if there's some kind of privilege attached to that. So the report that we'll be looking at and bringing back to council will consider how those things work together and what the best option that we can recommend to council. The awkward thing about parking is obviously there's also competing requirements from different parts of the community and different parts of the people using parking. So that's part of it as well. So yes, we will look at the parking permit, not in isolation, but in concert with the idea of maybe some limited fee structure in certain circumstances, and also potentially an expansion of the time-limited system.
Councillor O'Neill?
Well, as Councillor Card talked about, I believe right now we have time limits on the front streets in the parking spots. I don't know if we have to get into the machines, but we could do time limits, and I'd like to see the report myself.
Yes, in that same regard, through either Ms. West or Director Jardine, it was my thought that in the past you've always had the bylaw patrolling the streets and looking at cars to see how long they sat there. I don't know whether you marked them or what, but so somebody didn't abuse it. And I know when we took the parking meters out of the downtown. We asked the employees in that to park up on the side street there by Metro and that. So, and then I know they had to walk a little ways to go to work, but the intent was to keep it open for people that were using the stores and whatever. Do we still do that? I guess is my question. Do we still police, I guess, the various cars that are sitting there so they don't sit there for 6 or 8 hours? I presume that was still going, but I just need clarification on it, please.
Street. So to clarify, it is 2-hour limit on street. We have a digital chalking method and we do enforcement on that. However, in the lots, it's free all day. So that's what the difference is. So 2 hours on street, free all day in the lots. And that's what we're talking about is permits in those lots. And that seems to be the issue is that downtown business owners or other members of the public are long-term in these parking lots and creating a bit of congestion.
Okay, thank you very much.
Okay, Councilor Roseblade, you have a question? Sorry, Councilor Roseblade?
Thank you. That did answer my question. I was just wondering how the enforcement was carried through. I didn't realize they had a digital chalking method, which is awesome, because it's hard to control. If you go by, I mean, how often do they patrol the downtown? Because somebody could have already been there for an hour and then they chalk it, so they still get another 2 or 3 hours. So I guess the enforcement part I would like to see described in this report. I'd like to see the report, but I would like to see their enforcement method described in detail of how it's going to be fair and equitable for everybody that's parking downtown.
Okay, so then what we're asking here is that we bring back a report. Is that what I'm hearing? Councilor Stedall?
I would ask that the report be prepared in consultation with the DBA board as well as the Chamber of Commerce board so that the comments can come from them since they are bringing comments here tonight. So I just want to make sure that those get incorporated. And also question about when we're talking about the Saturday farmers market, do we have enforcement on Saturdays in that lot?
Farmers market when it's operating, you mean?
On Saturdays. On Saturdays, do we have enforcement?
I haven't heard of any problems on Saturday, but.
I don't believe we have enforcement. That's a question I've asked.
Go ahead.
Thank you, Your Worship. In my experience as a vendor there, the OPP was called if there were cars that were parked and they arranged towing. That has happened vanishingly small number of times over the years, in my understanding.
Well, I think what we've done in the past, we try to contact the owner of the vehicle first, and if we have luck there, we get it out of there, because I guess we're encouraging people not to drink and drive, and so they leave their vehicle because they feel they've had more, and so that's what we want to do, contact them in the next morning and so on, so that's what we've done in the past. Councilor Kotsovas.
Thank you. Yeah, I'd like to see a solution with the permit process. I'm curious to see this report. I'll just speak from experience. It's not only staff that are using these spots. When we had paid parking, I would take King Street to work, down Elgin all the time, and Market Square had some spaces available. So did the lot across from Life Labs, and so did Farmers Market. Ever since we initiated free parking, those lots are full every single day. You can't find a spot. So my conclusion is that people were parking at Metro or LCBO for free because they didn't, when we had paid parking. And now that it's free everywhere, they no longer have to park in a private business's parking lot, and they've relocated to these 3 spots because I'm not exaggerating. There's never a spot in these 3 parking lots.
Yep. Well, that's good news. That's good news. Councilor Carn.
Thank you, Your Worship. And I agree completely, and I think that's why the 3 or 4 hour is so key, because then we can weed out the folks that are coming down to stay all day. They will start to get the fines, learn they can't have to go back to the all day lots, not the high traffic lots, and let the real customers coming down for an hour or two, let them use that and not get the fines.
Thank you.
Do we have a motion on the floor? If not, I'd propose. We do? Okay. Okay, does that include the DBIA, consultation with the DBIA and the Chamber of Commerce?
That's what we asked.
That's what I wanted to know.
I'd be happy to amend it to include that.
And so would I.
I thought that's what we asked for, but anyways, so All in favor? Thank you. Carried. Okay. All right, correspondence. First is International Women's Day in the city of Quinte West. Further, that the Quinte West sign and the Veteran Skyway Bridge be illuminated in the color purple on March the 8th, pending no scheduling conflicts. Okay, Councillor Reed moves, seconded by Councillor McHugh. Any comments or questions? Comments or questions? All in favor? Carried. Thank you very much, and we'll keep going in that, Council proclaimed March 20th as French Language Day in the city of Quinte West. So, Michael, you can answer this one in French.
Ben oui.
Okay. Mover and a seconder, Councillor Armstrong moves, seconded by Councillor Katsovas. Okay, all in favor? Carried, thank you. Okay, the next, the 9th to 15th is 30th Annual Violence Awareness and Random Acts of Kindness. And further, that the Quinte West sign and the Veteran Skyway Bridge be illuminated in the color blue from March the 9th to the 15th, pending no scheduling conflicts. Boy, that's at the, it seems to me like we just did this a little while ago, but my goodness, wow, wow, wow. Yeah, 30th anniversary, wow. My grandson just went to one of those islands on a vacation. Thank God. Yeah, okay, any comments? Sorry, go ahead.
I just wanted to also include, along with Mark Fife, there was the Rebecca Middleton, and I forget the name of the other person, that's sort of celebrating those three young people that were, that was Rebecca
Yeah.
Middleton. I forget the other person, but I don't know. I saw a news report on it, but yeah.
Sad. Councillor McHugh?
Need a mover and a seconder.
Mover and a seconder, yeah. Councillor Armstrong, Councillor Reed, beat you.
Thank you.
They get extra money this time. As everybody else. Any other comments? All in favor? Carried, thank you. All right, the next one is the, okay, under printed information, anything under printed information you want to otherwise receive as printed? I need a mover and a seconder as receive the printed information. Mover, Councillor Roseblade moves. Got a question? I need a seconder. Councillor Stedall, did you second that, or? Pardon? Okay, thank you. Councillor Roseblade, a question, or? No, okay. All right, all in favor? Carried, thank you. Okay, and then we got the minutes of the Hastings Community and Human Services Committee meeting held on January the 14th. Anything else you want to talk about, or I'll receive them all as such? All in favor of all in favor, that's what okay, thank you very much. Okay, and that non-printed is really good, I always like that one. Okay, all right, so, notice of motion, I have a notice of motion here, that the, I'll let Councillor Stedall read this one.
Thank you, Worship. So the resolution is whereas International Women's Day is celebrated globally on March 8th, 2026 to recognize social, economic, cultural, and political achievements of women. And whereas it is time to acknowledge progress towards gender equality while recognizing the work that remains to eliminate discrimination, violence, and barriers to opportunity for women and girls. And whereas the 2026 observance of International Women's Day calls on communities to accelerate equality and uplift the voices, rights, and contributions of women and girls. And therefore be it resolved that the Council of the City of Quinte West declares March 8th as International Women's Day and encourages all residents to recognize the achievements of women and girls and support the actions that promote equality and inclusion in the community. And I just wanted to say that I know we have already passed a resolution, we've already made a declaration about this. However, I had already prepared this and wanted it to be brought forward again. And I think now in the time of our world crisis that we have going on, I think it's especially important for us to make sure that we do recognize the International Women's Day. And I just wanted to make sure that it was acknowledged that we here in the city do support our females.
And that's fine. We're not, nobody's objecting. It's fine. Thank you. Councillor McHugh.
I'd be happy to second that motion.
Okay. Councillor Siddall move, Councillor McHugh second. Any further comments? All in favor? Thank you very much. Okay. All right, then bylaws, I need bylaws be read a first, second, and third time. Pardon?
New business.
Oh, new business. Anything else on, sorry, I didn't have anything under new business, but is there anything else under new business besides what we just did? Yes, go ahead.
Mr. Mayor, I just want to announce to the council and the general public, I guess, myself and the CAO of Lower Trent and the Vice Chair, we attended a meeting with MPP Alsop this morning, and of course, we're talking about the proposed amalgamation, and he indicated he has been talking with Quinte Conservation also a day or so before. I don't know whether the current chair of Quinte Conservation was involved with that or not, but he's listening to our input, which wasn't favorable, I will say that. There's a lot of unanswered questions, and we indicated several things that needs to be brought forward, which he doesn't have a lot of information on, but he indicated that when the next setting of I guess, the legislature, which is going to be the end of this month, there'll be some things brought forward that maybe will clarify where the direction is, but there's still a lot of question marks of what's going to happen, what it's going to look like. Of course, we were talking about representation, service to our residents, of applying for permits and stuff down the road, what it's going to look like, but he had no answers, but he was willing to listen to our concerns. We've also indicated, and I told him that over the last few years, we've lost 48% of the support of financing through the province, and that a lot of it's been downloaded to the municipalities, which has created double-digit increases, which we, as I know as a council, didn't support. But anyway, I just wanted to give you a briefing on that. I'm sure if there's something new comes along very shortly, we'll keep you informed. But the indication from him today was that it is in the works. It's being worked at behind the scenes, and they want to have all this in place before next year, which a lot of it's got to be brought forward this fall or through the summer or whatever. But there's a lot of stuff that's got to be brought forward to what the future boards will look like, representation, and I guess they're still going to want our levies, from my understand is, but there's still a lot of unanswered questions. But the meeting was basically to express our concerns and not our favorability of what's proposed. So I just wanted to add that I did attend that this morning on council's behalf.
Yes. Yeah, so I didn't have a meeting yesterday with Mr. Alsop, but I did speak to Mr. Alsop on that topic. And I also know CAO Brad McNiven of Quinte Conservation did have a face-to-face meeting with both MPPs for the areas that are covered by Quinte Conservation regarding this. And so we don't have any answers either. We do have a lot of questions, you know, like what happens to the ownership of these properties and the care that the conservation authorities are giving to owned conservation lands. What happens to those assets? And I'm sure every conservation authority's all got different computer systems because they've all, you know, worked their way to being what they are organically in different ways. And so if they're going to talk about merging fees together and having a system together, somebody's going to have to invest money in a computer system for these amalgamated conservation authorities, and that's not going to be cheap. So whatever their money-saving ideas are, they really aren't money-saving ideas. And yes, they're still going to need their contributions from municipalities. And I did indicate that Quinte West is very satisfied with both Lower Trent Conservation and Quinte Conservation and the services provided. So what's going on? There must be some other reason behind it besides our local authorities.
Councillor O'Neill.
I have a question on the bylaws. Is it too early to do that or not?
Sorry.
A question on the bylaws, is it too early to do that?
Go ahead.
Through you to the Director of Finance, for the borrowing bylaw for the $5 million, would it be easier to get an overdraft of $5 million apply for an overdraft, so we're only borrowing what we need and not borrowing a whole $5 million.
Sorry, through your worship, that essentially is what this bylaw allows for. It's essentially a permission to borrow. It's not an automatic borrowing of $5 million.
Okay, thank you.
Anything else? Anyone else? Councillor Mike Katsomas.
Thank you. Also for bylaws, but I may need a motion, that's why I'm bringing it under new business. Bylaw 26030, the seasonal vendor fee. It was brought to my attention, I spoke to economic development staff. The way the motion was written, they could only apply the $1,000 increase for the seasonal vendor fee for 2026, not in addition to every year forward. It drops to 800, which it shouldn't. So I'm asking if we make a motion here to have that current amount of 1,000 carry forward to each additional year until the future committees decide that 1,000 needs to be increased to meet the economy's needs.
Who wants to answer that one?
It shouldn't drop to 800, but again, we would need another economic development meeting to correct that, or we could do it here.
I don't know why we can't do it here, but.
Your worship, perhaps Director Grimmin can answer that question.
Thank you, through Mr. Mayor, to Councillor Coatsvos. Yes, it looks like the 800 in the fees and charges chart under the 2027 category is there an error. The report that had gone forward to committee was strictly to establish fees for 2026, so we can certainly look to bring back a future report once we establish any changes in the conditions for the pop-ups program for 2027. We bring back a report every year with the results of the current year once it is concluded, and we can certainly include that for any future fee considerations for 2027. So at this point, we would just be looking for the approval for the 2026 fees.
Okay.
Follow up, sorry. Would it not be prudent to do the 1,000 now? I only ask because potentially if the committee next year decides it has to be 1,100 or 1,200, at least it's only going up from the $1,000 mark. If a new vendor that hasn't rented before sees 800 and all of a sudden it goes up $400, that's how it's going to look to them. So if it's starting at 1,000, it's not going to be as much of a jump if they wanted to take the opportunity to rent a space.
Through you, Mr. Mayor, to Councillor Coatsvos. Yes, I could accept that, and we might consider doing the same for the 250, the transient vendor fee, rolling that over as well, and then dealing with any future amendments as needed.
Still doesn't get to the answer. Go ahead.
I just didn't know if we needed a motion to actually make those changes for 2027 and then let future committees deal with any additional increase.
Well,
if we're able to do that here.
I think we need the motion, but that's my opinion.
I'll make it if we're allowed to do it here, but if we have to wait for another economic development meeting or we have to wait for a new council.
Oh, I think we can do it. I think we can do it.
Yeah, we can do it here.
No, no reason why we can't do it.
To council, if it's just a mistake in the bylaw, which it sounds like it is, because it was council's intention to roll over those fees, or that's what you're telling me the intention was, then I can make those changes as clerk, and you don't need a motion.
Okay.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you. All right, okay. Anything else under bylaws? Okay, to move in a second to accept bylaws as written. Councilor McHugh, seconded by Councilor Elliott. Comments or questions? All in favor? Okay, I'm ready for confirmation bylaw and one that says we're adjourned. Councilor Armstrong, you got money to do both? Good, thank you. Councilor Reid, seconds. Thank you very much, ladies and gentlemen. Yes, the week is getting shorter and the weather's getting nicer, so we'll take it. Yes, hold it up.